Hey guys, I am here live and in person with you. This is really, really cool, man. We have a lot going on today, and I don't want you to miss a thing, but I also want to tell you that you can be a part of this call today. So, this is for everybody. I'm saying this early as you guys come on in. I will put the link to our Zoom call today. So, if you want to hang out with me in Zoom, you can absolutely do that. And I would love for you to be a part of the conversation. Why not, right? Why not be a part of what we're doing right here in the studio? So that being said, I am live. Let me make sure that I'm live. I am live right now. And this is an opportunity for us to talk to Daniel and Daniel Chi. He's going to be on tonight, and we will be discussing remote production. So there's a couple of things that's going on inside of the Ecamm community. So I do want to be sure that I talk about some of those things that's in our community as well. Maybe I say answer some of the questions. Daniel answer some of those questions inside of the community. So this is going to be fun tonight. So if you're coming on in, I would love for you to let me know that you are here, like Rabbi David. Hey, sir, how are you doing? Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Just let me know that you're here and put them in the chat, and I would love to shout you out. So this is an opportunity for us to do that. I have been telling people every time I go live that I would love to use Zoom. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, yes, I could easily see your chat right here, right? Put it up, greetings, awesome, fun things. That's different than awesome wood things, but that's cool. I love it. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. And these are great, but we also have an opportunity for people to come on. Of course, I used to be a DJ, right? And we would have, instead of having chat, nobody can see the chat because it's the radio, we'll have people come on and we'll use their voice. And now that we're doing video, it is so easy for us to be able to use your video. So if you are a e-camera, you're watching this, turn your lights on, turn your microphone on, get your set looking good. As you can see, my set is changed up a little bit. I've been doing some remodeling and I could not get it together before tonight, but it's okay. It is okay. We're gonna have fun tonight anyway. Jeremy, how are you doing, sir? Thank you for coming through. He says, "What's up, fam?" Appreciate that. My girl Tatiana Teaches is here. I guess that's a smiley face. I see the smiley face. Good to see you tonight. We have a lot that we're going to be talking about. And none other than Paul Duncan, the moderator, is hanging out with us on a Sunday night. What a pleasure it is to have Paul Duncan with us tonight. Let me move this down so I can put that up. Paul, good to see you, sir. And Eric is here. He's saying hello. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. This is a really, really big deal for me. And there's a couple of things I want to be sure that we go over. I'm going to put this back in the chat for us tonight so everybody can see. This is, of course, our Zoom link, just in case you want to come on and hang out with us in the Zoom. Of course, I've had several people on already that this month. So the next show, let me just talk about what's coming up for everybody. The next show, Kirk Nugent and I will be on next week, and we will be discussing the top 10 apps. I'm being distracted by everything that's going on inside the studio here. The top 10 AI apps that you could be using. We did it probably a year ago, several months ago for sure. And you know what? Everything has changed since then. All the new models, all the new apps, and we're going to go, and basically I call it a revised version. So we're going to revise that top 10. Last time we gave you probably like 19 or 20, and we'll probably do the same. We're going to talk about some things that as a content creator, I want to be sure that you know about. Also, at the end of the month, we also will have Tanya Smith coming back to hang out with us. I'm so excited to have her. She's done some amazing things inside of our community and in her own community. And we're going to be talking about being an early adopter on some things. Some good stories, of how it has helped her to be an early adopter, and maybe some not so good stories about being an early adopter. Um, he said, I guess Old Country Buffet closed today, Paul. And I guess that's an inside joke for you, Paul. Maybe you know more about that. Huh? Hey, Valerie, I'll be hanging out in the back of the class while I pack my suitcase. Glad I caught you. Well, I'm glad you caught us as well. And no worries. Just turn me up and make sure I'm on a big screen TV or something while you do the packing. I would appreciate that. But thank you for hanging out with us. And Gretchen is here. Hey, Gretchen, how are you doing? G. Albert is hanging out with us. Hello, sir. Thank you for hanging out with us today as well. I love this. Like, all of the gang are here tonight. I really do appreciate you guys coming through. And what else do I have here? I have some people in the back hanging out with me in the Zoom, so thank you for that. And Giara is asking Val, are you headed out to that cruise? Val's got a cruise. There's nothing like a good vacation going on around this time. That is really, really cool. So that being said, there's a couple of things I want to be sure I talk about, and glad. And Valerie saying, glad to see everybody. It's great to see everybody. And Paul, I'm glad that you are here as well. Maybe you can kind of chime in on some of this. Of course, Daniel is coming on tonight, and while he comes on, there's a couple of things that has happened inside of the community as of today, and I want to be sure that people are aware of what to do troubleshooting wise if you are having issues with Ecamm. We had a couple of people chime in the community today saying that they could not go live, and there were some issues going live. And first of all, anytime that you have, let's just go with step one. If there is a issue with your Ecamm, I want to be sure that you know this. There is a way for you to go from your Ecamm to actually to the help desk. Okay? It is easy to do. And what you want to do is automatically, the first thing you do is actually try to reach the support system through Ecamm. Okay? So they can start and seeing what you are doing. So they can actually start the process of actually putting you in queue to know what is going on. That's the first thing that you can do. I personally have people inside of Ecamm that I can talk to about certain issues, not employees of Ecamm, but people that use Ecamm that I can say, hey guys, are you having this issue as well? Hey, have you tried to go live? So these are some partners or people that I know, friends that I know inside of the community. And also the community is there for you as well. So going on to, if you don't have these people, again, going on to the Facebook community and saying, hey, I put in a ticket, but I'm having this issue and I would love for someone that may know more than me to kind of help me through this process. Because you're going to have people like Daniel that would chime in at basically any time during the day that could actually help you through the process. But you also want to be sure, first step is making a support ticket. Okay, that support ticket will help you get to where you are going. All right. Question, did you ever say was part one last week? No, last week we actually talked to Neil actually came on and we talked to him about something completely different. It was a stream deck. So part two is something I did with, and I guess I'm hoping you're talking about this being part two or the part two, the top 10. But actually last week I talked to Neil about the stream deck. And I'm talking to G. Albert. He asked a question. I wanted to be sure I got over there to him. And again, hello to you, Micah. And it's about 1 a.m. where she is. And I just got back to the hotel after the show. I'm super sleepy. Well, Valerie, I want you to take your time to be sure that you get what you need and turn us up so we can keep you up for a little while. Paul said today we had an outage with a back-end server that prevented people from going live. The test was able to resolve the issue. Thank you so very much for that, Paul. You know what? Things like this happen. The team, not the test. Okay, let me read that again. The team was able to resolve the issue. Great, no problem, Paul. Thank you for saying that. You know what? Things like that happen sometimes, and to have an opportunity to have people that can fix some stuff. I mean, the servers go down. Sometimes things happen. And we know that our systems are oh so important, right? Like we know our lives are important. We're going live and we understand that, these lives, they need to be a particular way, right? And it's Sunday. Church services are there and people are using Ecamm for their church services. I guarantee you, working for a local pastor here, sometimes they don't understand that systems are not always available. Like they really don't. But it is, especially on a Sunday morning, things could happen. You're so right about that. And G. Albert, thank you for saying that you'll catch the replay. Please do. It was a really good one. Really good one. If you're using a Stream Deck or thinking about using a Stream Deck, is there. Things like that can happen. And Paul is just here and saying that, hey, Sunday mornings, oh my gosh, yes, we do have a lot of people going live on Sunday mornings and having live shows for whatever their shows may be. And it's important for them to be able to go live. I want to be honest in saying, since I've been with Ecamm, this may be the very first time I've heard of a back-end server preventing people from going live, the very first time. So there's a first time for everything, right? So as we can tell, it does happen because it did happen, but the issue was resolved. As you can tell, hey, I'm live right now on the Ecamm YouTube channel, and guess what? No problems. We are here and we are live and it is going. That being said, support ticket, finding a friend, and using the Ecamm Live community, that can really help you do what you need to do. There was another question inside of the Ecamm community that I thought was really, really cool that maybe we could talk through really quick. It was a question about having audio echoes inside of your live stream. Okay, how do you troubleshoot this to know where the echo is coming from? The first thing that you want to do with yourself and even your guest, if you'll see here, I always wear these in-ear monitors. Okay, I wear these in-ear monitors even when I don't have anybody in the studio. When I do have a guest, so what happens is when Daniel will come on, if you are familiar with Zoom, Zoom has a noise cancellation thing to where you can have the speakers on and you don't need headphones. But with us, we're always teaching have headphones because the microphone inside of your studio can pick up those speakers and it will allow an echo to come through. Okay, so right now there's no audio in my room other than my voice, okay? Other than my voice going through the microphone to you guys. But if I had my speakers on and my speakers were playing my voice, again, it will come back and it'll make a loop, which will be an echo loop, which we don't want to do that, okay? We don't want to have that happen. So what happens is that if you have earphones on, your guests will have to have the same setup. We're asking that they have the same setup. And again, it helps you to not have echo issues. So please, if you have guests, first thing you want to do is ask them if they have headphones. So when they hear you speaking, is not coming through their speakers in their studio. So their studio should be quiet, your studio should be quiet, and basically you're communicating, but you are hearing each other through your in-ear monitors or headphones. Like we're using in-ear monitors. It's not a bad thing to have headphones on, guys. I mean, it's a different look. It's a different aesthetic inside of the video, but they still work. There's a lot of people that use headphones, okay? So those are two things that you can do to be sure that you, number one, check the audio. Now, if I'm being sure that I want to know where my echo is coming from, first of all, I want to mute my my microphone, okay, and see if I'm providing the echo, or have your guest, if they're inside of the interview mode, you want to have them mute their microphone and see where the echo is coming from, okay? Paul is helping me out. They're saying echo. I'm saying echo. because that's what people will automatically say. I'm having an echo, but officially it's called slapback. Okay, thank you so very much, Paul, for that. Okay, so that's one of the things that you want to be sure. So slapback. So let me just try to say, hey, if you're having slapback, echo/slapback inside of your video, these are some things that you could do to help. Okay, muting your microphone to be sure you're not providing the echo, muting their microphone on their end to see where the echo is coming from. Okay, you want to be sure that they don't have any audio inside of their studio. And if you do that, that 100% could help you. Now, there is another thing that you want to be careful of inside of your own studio. So with, yes, this needs to be said, the Facebook community, Ecamm's Facebook community is great. And there's no way of getting around having a great group of people inside of the community. There is a button inside of Ecamm that will allow you to have what we call monitors. Okay, a audio monitor. If I turn my audio monitor on to hear what you guys are hearing, it is going to be slightly behind my spoken voice. So it will provide an echo in the system or a slapback in the system that I will hear echo. Now, if I have that turned on and I'm unaware of it, number one, the echo that everybody is hearing could be annoying. Okay, it is not cool to hear yourself from a slapback or echo. Okay, so people just turn it off. Like you might set your audio up, test the monitoring through the system, Ecamm system, and then turn it back off once you feel like the audio is where it's supposed to be. Now, here we go. If you're hearing a sound repeated once, it's slapback. That's pretty cool. What we would call echo. If you hear the sound like you're talking in a canyon where your voice is repeated time and then it's okay, then it's an echo. Okay, so that's a little different. Man, I love the technical part of that, Paul. Thank you so very much for saying that. So I'm talking about two different things at one time. So if I'm hearing myself once, it's slapback, and if it's repeated, it's echo. And the echo is no different than having a video when we would do the infinite window thing. It's the same thing with the audio. It's just going in a loop. And sometimes that can happen as well too. Usually that's a little bit easier to fix. But the slapback once is one of those things that just could be so annoying. But there's some technical things that I'm explaining right now that can help you through that process. A lot of times you just have to be there. Ecamm has updated the system with the virtual mic that makes things so much easier and a lot of things that we're doing. But if you're having an issue, guarantee you, if you get all of the audio out of your studio, all of the audio out of the studio that your guest may be in, it will definitely make the difference. Okay? Another question, and I'm talking tonight because I want to go through some of the things I've seen. These are some questions that I've seen, Paul, that are inside of the community that, I'm not the expert, but I think I can help you a little bit. And if you're here and you want to chime in on some of this, of course, you can always come in through the Zoom and kind of help through some of these questions. One other question that I have here was, I talked about the live today, and Paul actually put something in here. What did he say? Daniel actually helped. He was one of the driving forces in getting the issue resolved this morning. I just think that it's super, super cool that we have people like Daniel inside of our community. Question, is this slapback echo similar to lag between YouTube and Facebook? No, that's something totally different. The lag that you get in Facebook and YouTube is basically their streaming service. It's the latency going through their streaming service. Okay, I would call that latency going through their streaming service, which is usually could be anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds difference in time. Okay, and that's something a little different because the audio issue, slapback or echo, is something that is going to be handled on your end in your studio causing a problem, or in your interviewer studio causing a problem. So the problem is local. If there is a lag in YouTube or Facebook, it is on their end. Basically, you're getting your signal to their server, and their servers could be, pretty far away, and it does take time for that data to get there to it. So good question, though. Really, really good question. So again, we want to thank Daniel for his help in getting that done for us earlier today inside of the community. And there was another question inside of the community about video size and how do you resize a video inside of, like, once you put it into Ecamm, how do you resize a video? And I'm not the very best person when it comes to doing a demo, like the demo mode inside of Ecamm. I need to really practice that a little more, because in my show, I just don't do a lot of that. But basically, you want to find a new inside of Ecamm, the window that you put your video in, whatever scene you pull up, you can then have a new, if I had demo mode, it would be so much easier. But basically, you can drop it into another camera source or another source for video, and then resize it from there. So if I wanted to have a video, and I don't know that I have a video ready to show you, but let me add a new scene to this. And I'm not one of those demo mode pros, so I am going out on a limb to help you guys do this really quickly. Where I want to be here. All right, so you want to go to your overlays, and basically I can pick a movie overlay. Be sure I add this the right way. Come on. All right. So I don't know if you see this box here, right? I should be able to, it's a camera source, which is different from a video. But basically, when I'm on a scene like this, and I'm actually covering the whole thing, if I drop a video on a scene where I'm already covering the whole scene, it's gonna expand through the whole video. If I'm inside of the video here, and I try to drop something here, I can actually drop a video into this screen, this box here, and it's just gonna be this size, and then from there, I should be able to expand it or make it smaller. Okay? It is really that simple. And we had a couple of things here. There's another question here. Is there more than one Ecamm feature that Ecamm prompts you to do a one-time install? What are the names of those features? That is a really good question. Is there more than one Ecamm feature that Ecamm prompts you to do a one-time install? So when it comes to features, and I'm just from someone that's been with Ecamm for a long time, right? When it comes to features, here is Paul helping me out here. At one point, there was only virtual cam and virtual mic. So once you have it set up, you do an update. These are two things that they're asking you that they can have access to. Sound audio could also be included in that. System audio could also be included in that. But when we have features coming up, of course, in a general sense, most of the features are sent through the beta group. Once we have it in the beta group and they test it out, and then they release that beta to a new Ecamm, and everybody can update, not just the beta group, but everybody is available. That's normally how new features come out, and you just update your Ecamm for those new features. Now, there are some things that you want to do. Yes, system audio, that's it. Okay, there are some things that you want to do. Yes, what Paul said. Thank you, Camera Junkie, Paul. And really good question. Awesome, fun things. There's some things that those three things you want to be aware of, because I do believe that if you like go out or come in or do some kind of updates, it's going to ask you to do that. If you have a new computer, it's going to ask you to do those things as well. To have a virtual mic, system audio, and virtual camera. Everything else should be there. Really, really good question. Okay. So another question is coming through here I want to be able to get to, because I have lost what I was doing with the video, but I'm hoping I answered that question with the video. I use the Rodecaster Pro. I never need a system audio, but I installed it today by accident. What, if anything, would be different? I can't tell any difference. Well, that is a good question. So I would know what your system audio is coming from Ecamm. So basically the Rodecaster Pro and Ecamm are going to be talking to each other. So you should not have much of a problem at all, or much of a difference. If I'm wrong about that, guys, let me know. And one of the reasons why I have now 26 plus minutes into the video today, and we're talking about some things inside of the Ecamm community, and kind of just going through some of the things that I was actually going to ask Daniel for him to talk about. Every now and again, you get your systems crossed up with your guests. Daniel has been great to the Ecamm family, and sometimes we could have issues where maybe our timing was off as far as what time the show was tonight, but I am waiting on him, and I'm sure he's going to show up in just a minute to talk about some production stuff. That being said, you don't need system audio installed if you have the Rodecaster Pro. Okay, I know he said that he did it by mistake, but you don't need it. The Rodecaster Pro has mix minus, yes. Come on, mix minus, handle the audio. Seems like Ecamm can do that too, since it's installed a system audio. And they're talking to you. What should I look for? Okay, there you go. Now that I've installed it, what should I be looking for? I'm not sure if you have everything routed through your Rodecaster Pro, you're going to see anything different, but we'll see if there is something different that you'll be looking for. That being said, again, I am waiting on Daniel, and he's been such a great help for us inside of the community, and I wanted to talk through a couple of things that I saw inside of the community that will help us. We talked about the video, resizing video, and another thing that I saw recently was recommendations for teleprompters. And there are a couple of things that I want you to be aware of when it comes to teleprompting, because a lot of it really depends on your setup. The size of your teleprompter depends on your setup. Just like most people, I've seen some of that. You can uninstall audio system for Ecamm through the Ecamm menu. There you go. That's probably the easiest way to get around what you're looking for. Teleprompter from Elgato is probably ones that I've seen most recommended. There are several that have been out there. There are several things that, from an app perspective, that are out that help you read, that will move with you. But the biggest recommendation that I've heard the most from was the teleprompter that Elgato has out, and I think that it is Tom Buck actually did a review on that I personally watched it. I thought he did a great job. I'm not a teleprompter guy. I had one in here just to kind of see the when I'm looking into the camera, I can actually see the video, but it got in the way, so I removed it. I just look into the camera, and then whatever is there is there. Even when I have guests and you see me moving my eyes down to see the chats or whatever, that's just part of how my live stream will look. I'm going to look down at my screens here to actually see what the comments are coming in and what comments I actually move over using a 2-monitor setup. And my camera is just right above my 2 monitors, and I really don't have a lot of space for the teleprompter anymore. And if I did have a teleprompter in here, I would have the look of the camera, which the camera is a little bit above my eye level. I wish it was just just a little bit down, but based on my setup, I have it exactly where it could be. If I move this, you'll actually see my monitor. Oh, and now you don't want to show the monitor. There it is. You can see the monitor coming into the screen. That's how close my monitors are to my camera. Okay. That being said, I have a few more things that I want to talk about. And I thought that, let me go into preview mode here and see if I can actually bring them up so you guys can see what I wanted to show you tonight. I am going to our YouTube channel here because how many do I have here? Let's go here. Last week, we actually released a couple of videos from Daniel. And on those videos, I just think that it's just really, really cool, right? What Daniel is doing. And I want to be sure that you guys know all about it. So you can go back, if you haven't seen the videos, you can go back and actually look at what his videos are all about. I want to be sure I get the playlist so I can get all of them. So give me 1 second here as I pull this up, and I'll go through the playlist so we can look at the different titles that he has, and everybody will know exactly where to go to get all of this. You know what? I'm not seeing it in a playlist yet. What am I missing, Paul? It's got to be in here somewhere. I see the videos. Let's just go back to the videos. They were live streamed, and that's one scheduled. That's one scheduled. Streamed 6 days ago. Okay, there's a couple that are scheduled here. Okay, so not in a playlist yet. And you guys are not seeing this, so let me pull it up so you can't see it. So I was actually playing in you guys are seeing it all. What do I need to move this? There we go. So of course, there he is. So there's Paul. Getting started with Ecamm for Zoom with Daniel G Live. So this is the one he just did 6 days ago, guys. I want you guys to, and of course, you're looking at all of them. If I go into it, it's going to play the video, but I really want you to get a chance to see the thumbnail here. Live Producer Playbook. And then there's several that are coming up for him. So we got one on the 13th and the 14th. So Live Production Playbook. The essential hardware and software that's needed for virtual, and then he has another one the next day, which is proven systems and techniques. So this is all coming out this week. This is all coming out this week. That's why it probably is not in the playbook. So of course he's gonna also be on ENN for Zoom Pro Hacks with Daniel. So that's next week. I think that's Wednesday, and then he also has one on the 15th. So Live Producer Playbook 3, Troubleshooting and Crisis Management, which we all need to have. Like, I should be a pro at that right now. And of course, you can see all the other shows that are coming up. We have a lot of things happening for you guys here at Ecamm Live. So these are some of the things I want you to be aware of. So when does that start? He always did. So I'm looking at the first one here. It looks like it's going to be the 13th, 14th, 15th. So he's going live also with the team on the 15th. So upcoming streams will be first 30 minutes live playbook. Masterclass starts on Tuesday. Well, there you go. Let me be sure that I put that up. I am moving around here. There we go. There we go. I'm back to it now. And this is what Paul said. The upcoming streams will be the first 30 minutes of his live produced playbook masterclass that starts on Tuesday, guys. I really, really want you to be able to see that, okay? Really want you to be able to see that. Let me see here. Question. We got Paul in this one. So, Paul, you're part of the show today, sir. I know you didn't ask for it, but thank you. Mac Mini M1 flaking out. Do you know if Ecamm has any recommendations? So I'm not really sure what the flaking out part would be of that. G. Albert, if you can kind of help me, explaining exactly what it looks like you may be doing here, like exactly what's going on. And if you want to register for the Live Producer Playbook, go to that. Oh man, Paul is just always on top of it. Golly, that is so cool. If you want to register, please go to that site, and it's recommended. I recommend it. Okay, being a part of that masterclass with him, he's going to answer a lot of your questions. Thank you for putting that link in there for me, Paul. The M1 is really cool. I would say this: when we started with Ecamm, they did a couple of updates. The M1 was perfect. I think 2022. There are some things that you can do with Ecamm now that you couldn't do in 2022 or early on when you got the Mac Mini, the M1. Whether it's the 8 gigabyte or the 16, which I think it still works. Like I'm on the Mac Mini M1 8 gigabyte right now. However, I am not doing isolated videos or isolated audio recordings. I did have to turn those features off because of how it is set up here. And I think that space was an issue for me. I didn't clear it out. So if you're someone that has a better system of clearing out some of your files better than I do, you might not have a problem. Or if you got a larger storage M1, you might be okay as well. But I'm not recording isolated video now. Okay, so, and I do think the isolated video could actually help you. So if I'm here doing a show, okay, I'm doing a show inside of Ecamm, and I can have another camera recording me from a different angle. So if I wanted to repurpose this, I am showing you live this version, but I could be recording a B camera that's getting a side view, and it's like I'm talking to the audience, but it's recording me from the side. And I could be recording something totally different to repurpose, and which I think is a great idea. Chris Stone actually does a great job with this in a lot of his repurposing, where he just uses a side shot that is not included in his live stream. You have an ability to do that with Ecamm. But you want to have a computer that is strong enough to be able to record, whether it's you, all of your guests. Just think if you have an interview mode up to 8 guests and you're trying to isolate video, record all of those people. And in my case, I will be recording in 4K. That's going to be hard on a lot of these computers. But I do think an M2 could do it. You could not go wrong with a Mac Studio. Let me just say that. You cannot go wrong with a Mac Studio at all. Looking for recommendations to replace. I'm looking for a MacBook Pro, M3. Hope I'm on the right track. You are. Anything over M2, anything over M2 that's going to get you great space. I think they have 10 gigabytes, 6, 12, 16 or something like that. You're going to be just fine. There's so much that is out there right now that's all going to work with Ecamm. I just think the M1 that we got in 2022 was the first M1, and it does rock. But the other options and features that are coming in the future with Ecamm that you'll probably be able to do, I'm just saying off of experience that Ecamm is giving us more features that is going to put more demand on our computers, that you might want to go up and just get a little bit more powerful computer. But a MacBook Pro M3 will be just fine. It would be great, by the way. I'll be to say it that way. So my Mac One Mini 16 gigabytes still rocks, no issues. I push it hard, stream and video editing. There you go. I think that that 16 gigabytes did make a difference. I have the 8, and that's why I'm having to upgrade. Okay, so going back to the master class is free, and the sessions will be in Zoom. You can purchase a package that gives you access to the replays plus freebies from Daniel if you wish. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and put up the registration link for that as well. Thank you, Paul, for updating us on that. Let me see. Awesome fun things is saying rumors are Apple is doing the form factor of the Mini for the first time ever. The M4 Mini is rumored to be similar to, the Apple TV box. They're going to make it smaller. I guess they can. I don't know much about that, but I'm thinking they're using a lot of the components, like the mobile components out of the phone, super mini sized. Well, that's going to be really cool. If you're not ISO recording, a M2 Pro is more than enough. If you're not doing ISO recording, M2 Pro is more than enough. Now, what I want to do is get people to the point to where they are getting a system that is more than enough to do isolated videos, because you just never know what you would need it for. Paul is saying to G. Albert that the M3 will work fine, just don't skimp on memory. Any M Mac will be fine. So I agree, any M Mac will be fine. Memory is important. I think it's Doc that talks about purchasing the memory and storage, purchasing storage with your Mac, only because by the time you get external storage, you're really paying about the same thing. Even though it looks like you're paying more at the price, like your price for your computer or your Mac is more, because you're adding storage to it, but not having to purchase external storage could actually help you. So, and I completely agree on that. Have done it both ways, one with more storage and one without, and having to have all this external storage that's not going to be as fast as what's internal could be an issue. So definitely that. The new Mini is rumored to be small and tall. All right. My rule is always double the base amount of memory when buying a new Mac. That's a good one to do. Internal storage, yes, is generally going to be faster. So the recommendation again is to try to get as much memory as you can internally, even if it seems like you're paying more for the Mac. But it will be Apple's fastest Mac Mini ever. You can guarantee that Apple marketing will say that. Okay, man, you guys have been on it as far as this new Mac Mini. I just got a MacBook Pro. I think mine is a M2. It's actually, this is something that I do, guys. I don't recommend it. It's just something that I do. Because I just found that you just never know what you can get. There is, I use Best Buy Open Box. So when I'm shopping for something, I have a local Best Buy that I go to, and I just bother the salesperson till they tell me what they got in their open box and what they are. So when I got this MacBook Pro M2, it was actually a 23, 22, 23. I mean, it doesn't have warranty or anything on it, but if I wanted to, you can always get warranty through Best Buy for those things. It's just an open box. And I think this one may have been a demo or something. It had one little scratch on the cover, but it's a great computer. It's an Apple computer that I have warranty on. That's just one of the things that I do. I'm saved over $1,000 doing it that way. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm not giving you the recommendation, but I like buying used stuff. Whether that's through Facebook Marketplace or anything else. I don't do Marketplace as much as I used to, only because I don't have, the time and doing a lot of the research and meeting people to pick it up. But I don't have a problem with that. Another good option, you're right, Paul, is another one, the Apple refurbished one. So, I'll use that as well. You just never know what you can pick up. Like if they have these new Mac Minis coming out and they're all cool, guess what? Everybody's dropping their old Mac Minis. Guess what's wrong with them? Nothing. All of the old Mac Minis possibly could go $200 or $300 cheaper. And if someone had one that was beefed up with the storage that you really like, man, that is really the way to go. All right, that is really way to go. And it is fully warranted, just like a new computer when you do the Apple refurbished. Guys, when you're in the market, just do a little hunting around. You just never know. That's my recommendation. That's what I would do. Okay. That's what I would do. Was there anything else? I think that, from my standpoint tonight, I think those are some of the things I want to talk about. Jeremy, Paul, awesome fun things. G. Albert, thank you for asking the questions and hanging in with me tonight. If you are watching tonight and you got anything out of us going around and around talking about Ecamm stuff and Macs and all of that, just please click the like button for me. Tonight, Daniel was supposed to be on every now and again as a live show, which I don't know how many years I've been doing this with Ecamm. I really need to look back. It's more than 2 years now, maybe 3 or a little less than 3. And I absolutely love doing it. Okay. So I think we actually started in January of 21. Oh man, that's going to be coming up really, really soon. So I got to be thinking about how that actually works for me to talk about, the great opportunity that I get, of course, to be able to do this. And I want to say this, Kathy, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I think the only way that I should be seen on YouTube is through a television. Like, this face belongs on the tube. All right. No worries, Paul. That happens sometimes. And that being said, by me doing this, guys, I do think if you look through all of my shows, the last time I had Daniel on, my internet went down. Guess what? I was sure to have Speedify on. My phone is connected, so I have 2 connections here. I didn't upgrade my battery pack yet, but that's next, to be able to have a battery pack that could last at least 2 hours. Not that I would stream 2 hours, but I want to have more than enough power in my studio. These are all things you want to think about. If power goes out, how long could you stay up in your studio streaming? What else is there? These things can happen over the years. Guest just gets the time mixed up, and I've had a guest get it mixed up before. Their time zone was way off from ours, and they did the best they could to figure out the time zone, but they were off an hour, and it just so happened that they were ready to go earlier than they thought they needed to, and man, it worked. All right. That is funny, Jeremy. Jeremy has a sense of humor, man. It is just too much. He was stopped at the border. That's funny, man. He was not stopped at the border. I missed him tonight. I really wanted to catch up with him, but you guys are going to be able to see a lot of him this week on Ecamm Live's YouTube channel and Inside of the Community. So please check it out. Again, I want to throw up this masterclass that he's having that Paul put the link into the system for. And I want to go back. How far back do I need to go? Where's this link? There it is. So as I wrap up tonight, he is Canadian. You know how they all don't say that about Canadians, Paul. I don't know a lot of Canadians, but I don't want anybody mad at me from Canada. All right. I know you guys have been checking out the Olympics. That's been really cool, huh? It's been really, really cool. So that being said, things like this can happen. I had some things that I wanted to talk about. Now, I'm not the expert of all things Ecamm. Even though I've been on the system, I could tell you my system that I use because I use it all the time. But there's so many other features and functions of Ecamm. Having people like Daniel that knows the Zoom stuff and knows some of the operations and knows how to do some of the troubleshooting is great. Having somebody like a Dot Rock, having Paul, having Mr. Camera Junkie, having Anna and Fulgens and Katie and all these other people that can kind of help you through the process. Guys, guess what? We have so many people inside of our group that can help you all along the way. And you need to know a little bit about how to handle a time where your guest did not show. And I pray that I've shown you how to do a live stream with a guest that did not show. It's not bad on anybody. There could have easily been a mix-up in time. All of that can happen. But how do you handle your live stream? Are you able to still stream without your guests and to be able to have an engaging conversation with your audience during that time? Or are you having to say, hey, my guest didn't show up, I got to close down the stream? I think today, if you watch this show, it would be in my very best attempt to be a professional to carry the show without a guest. I'm not the best, guys, but it would be my very, very best opportunity to show you how to do that. All right? So that being said, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Even if you were hanging out in the Zoom real quietly, I appreciate that as well. And I pray that tonight you were blessed by the information and the community that we have. That being said, next week we will do the top 10 AI apps that are available right now. And guys, there's some things out there that will absolutely blow your mind with what is being produced this day and this time that can help content creators. That's what Kirk Nugent, and then we also have Tanya Smith coming at the end of the month. Get ready. Tanya's going to talk about being an early adopter and all of those things that actually help us to be better as content creators. And anytime she comes in, man, she's such a teacher and so laid back. It's going to be a great show. And I have September planned as well. I have one more guest I need to line up for September, and then I'm going to throw out that calendar for you guys to see everybody that's coming through September, because we have a lot that is going on. And Jeremy, thank you so very much for that. I always tell people, anytime you say something good, that's making it to the comments. I want to be sure that we're supporting the community as best we can. That being said, I don't want to prolong this. I'll see you guys next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know, the stream show is just going to do what it does. And there'll be me and Kirk and two old guys talking about apps that can help you. All right, guys, I'll see you next Sunday night.
Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of The Stream Show.